Hey gang, it's Matthew. I'm a wilderness backpacking and camping guide, and I've also been a summer camp director for years. And this is the spot that I've chosen to camp for the night.
But why did you choose this spot?
Hey, that's a good question. It's because you know what? Let's go for a hike and figure it out.
One of the first signs you want to look for when you're going out into the wilderness for a camping trip, or even if you're just going hiking, or maybe you just want to go down and fish, is the posted sign. You want to make sure that you're not trespassing on anybody's property. You want to make sure that you have permission if you are going onto somebody else's property, and you want to make sure that you're being respectful. Once you're in the woods, you want to make sure that you're looking up, that you're looking all around, and that you're looking down. Look up along the trees. Make sure you're looking around at the area that you want to be camping in. Make sure you're looking down at the ground. One of the reasons you want to be paying attention to the ground and looking down is because you want to be looking for things like water. In the spring, it's a great time to get out and go camping, but the ground is always wet. So you want to make sure that as you're walking around, you're making sure that you're listening for squishing sounds, that you're looking to see if any water's coming up when you step down, or if there's any pools of water nearby. Any low ground could lead to water building up. We also look for moss. Moss grows in very damp areas. So you want to make sure if there's a lot of moss on the ground when you pull up to try to set up a campsite, you might want to check that out because it could be really damp and your stuff might get wet. When you're looking around, you're still surveying the ground a little bit because you want to make sure that the ground is level. The last thing you want to do is set up your tent and then wake up in the corner of the tent because you've rolled down a little bit of a slope. You're also going to be looking for things like branches. If there's branches on the ground, that means there might be dead trees around, or there might be widowmakers hanging up in the branches above. So we look up along the tree trunk to make sure the tree looks like it's alive and doing well. Look at the branches to make sure that they look like they're alive and doing well. And also look to see if there's any branches that have broken or fallen, or any branches that look like they might be ready to break.
So, one of the things you're going to be looking for is called a widowmaker. Widowmakers are branches that are no longer attached to the trees, but resting on other branches. Now, the reason you want to look for these is because if a strong wind comes and your tent is under one of these widowmakers, the widowmaker could fall on your tent and collapse the tent, or even worse, get you hurt.
Another welcoming sign is a state land sign. There's a lot of wilderness and preserve areas that the state owns that allow you to do some wilderness exploration. They allow hiking, they allow camping, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, fishing. You can even find some lean-tos built on state land that you're allowed to sleep in. Make sure you're checking with the DEC or any other state office in the area to see what any regulations or things that you might need to follow are in the area. Open spaces are a really welcoming sign. You don't have to worry about things like widowmakers, but you do have to look for wet ground and uneven ground. And maybe even if there's a wind tunnel, you want to make sure that you're staying out of the wind as much as possible. But open spaces are a lot of fun because you can set up your tent and probably even build a campfire. One thing that Lily and I love to do when we go camping is we walk out, we find our spot, and then we like to lay down and test it out. Make sure it feels even. It's not too lumpy, and it's going to be a comfy spot. This one looks great. I found a spot where I can watch the sunrise in the morning. Check out this view and the beautiful sounds.
And that's why I chose this spot here. Beautiful sunrise, nothing hanging from the tree, nice flat ground, no water. It's perfect. You know, quarantine camping next to the house ain't too bad either. Have fun.